Next up, let's take a look at application letters, and we'll begin with one that basically fits the standard mold as outlined in your textbook and most job application letter references. You see this one has your basic letter format. This is your standard block format. Go through. It also has the 4-paragraph structure to it. You have an intro, you have the closing, you have the education paragraph here, intro, education paragraph, experience paragraph, closing paragraph. If we take a look at this, let's just point out a few different items that you want to make sure that you include here. See the first one, I'm writing to apply for the internship position as posted on this website. This is very important. You want to identify what you're applying for and where you saw it posted. Watch that you don't go on a narrative like, one day while I was browsing along the internet, I happened across a website, and through that website found a small little ad in the corner where your job posting was. Unless you have a good reason to do so to address a rhetorical situation. Okay, next one, same thing. This is textbook right here. Person, first sentence, boom. You have when the bachelor's degree, where they're getting it from, and when. And again, this is something where this is a specialized document, and so people who review these things are looking for this information in these particular paragraphs just because it's an expected convention, rhetorical situation at play, and situational demands and discourse communities. This also has a lot of good specific information in the first paragraph here. I'm currently a second-year sophomore with 3.4 GPA. Has a bunch of the specific courses. Okay, marketing courses, marketing 1 and 2, even though this person's just entering. So they mention marketing 1 and 2. This is marketing major for marketing position. They talk about business communication. You don't have to kiss up to your business communication prof. but actually this is a good course to mention for almost any job application. And also it mentions computer skills in here, and this person has blog. They're talking about a marketing position, so these are all good skills. And they also mention their high school diploma here because they're doing applying for an internship. And then they have in their work experience paragraph much specific detail about what exactly they did. I must assist in any and all restaurant functions, including upkeep, customer satisfaction. Ooh, there's a mistake there. We would want to fix that. Customer satisfaction and presentation. This job requires one to work as a team to complete tasks. Due to my hard work in this career, I was chosen as a trainer for new employees and was able to gain valuable experience skills. Then the second job was as a takeout server. Watch, this person's very careful here not to sound overly arrogant, and that's sometimes hard, but it's also an issue with marketing and advertising that you really need to think about how you want to present yourself, and you have more options and more responsibility and more choices there than people in other fields because of the very nature of your field. The regular mainstream business majors will probably take a more conservative approach to these and try not to, overinflate yourself, try anything too risky or innovative. And sometimes people in advertising or marketing, they try to do something innovative because of the very nature of their positions. And we'll take a look at something like that in just a second. The closing. Okay. Thank you for your time. I can be reached. If you have any question, they give phone and an email, even though I think they give it up above too. Some people say if you give it above, you don't have to put it below. I think either way is fine. It is kind of redundant to have it both places, but at the same time, if it gets them to contact you, then all the better. Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My resume has been enclosed. Here again, you want to encourage them and show your interest to meet with them for an interview, but you also want to not be overly pushy and say, "I will call you in 3 weeks if I don't hear from you." That might actually offend them rather than impress them. Okay, and then the signature block. In real life, make sure you sign these when you send those in. If you're doing these digitally as well, you may want to get like a PDF or a visual of your signature so that you can just paste it in there. Next up, choose this one. This is another example. Okay. You see these kind of follow a similar format. Okay. I wanted to show you this one just because this one takes a more indirect approach that some of you may decide to take, and this is something that you may want to reconsider for Western culture, although it depends where you're going to apply. Again, different cultural expectations and different rhetorical situations require different approaches. Most people and employers in Western culture expect a more direct approach. If we take a look here, I'm a finance student in my junior year and I'm seeking an internship. While Monster.com, I noticed your ad detailing an internship opportunity. The internship opportunity sounds interested and I believe that I'm qualified. This person has to read all through that to get to this point where they see that the person wants to apply for an internship. If I'm Mr. Greg Dexheimer here, I'm probably irritated at that point because this person's just taking up a lot of my time. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality. So you want to have this stuff right here. I mean, these people have like billions of these things that they're looking at. And so, you want to think in terms of your audience. It's the you attitude. And that's the reality here. This is much better. I expect to graduate from Penn State with a BA degree in finance in May. See, that's very direct. That's very good there. And here, accounting, economics, business law. So their person's doing extremely well. It's business student, core GPA of 4.0. Yep. Take a look here. The work experience, Home Depot, customer service, money handling. This person's looking for an internship in finance. So yes, see, customer service and money handling. Very good. Very good. See here, in the case of cashier work, money handling. Okay. Yes, finance. Excellent customer service. Good. And they're taking a look here at a hierarchy. They're giving a lot of specific detail. Very good. This one here, they're really trying to sell themselves at the end. And you can see that this is optional. Some people, like to put a lot of information here. I strongly believe that this internship would be a great fit for the both of us, as it would provide me a great opportunity with a well-known established stock brokerage firm, as well as provide you with someone with customer service experience capable of performing the task at hand. Okay, I've provided my resume along with the letter and I'm available to either phone. This last part here, I have provided my resume. You can put that and just that, and boom, you're fine. Notice this one doesn't have the phone number or the email because they're relying upon it up here and in the resume. Both are acceptable. Now, the last example I want to show you here. This one goes back to our other example from the resume of this person doing the two different one, and this one's the marketing one. And this letter is, the other letter is more traditional for the person does a publishing one and the marketing one, and I wanted to show you the marketing one. The publishing one looks more like the two we just looked at, but the marketing one is a little bit different because they're doing something for marketing. Okay, so you notice here, by the way, if you don't have a person or department to contact, you can always use the company name in the greeting here. Sometimes people put "to whom it may concern." That's still okay, but it does sound a little bit out of date and antiquated. It's still acceptable, but it does sound dated. So I would say use the most specific information you have for the greeting. A person is probably the ideal. Department is next best. Company is the standby. Now, this is a lot different than our regular approach here. Look how this person starts out. Now, remember, this is to marketing. When I was a fifth grader, I gathered a group of my closest friends, marched down to the ever so intimidating principal's office, and pitched an idea. I wanted to publish the elementary school's first ever student newspaper. After much skepticism and a heck of a lot of convincing, we emerged victoriously 20 minutes later and set off to begin writing about the latest lunchroom concoctions, the coolest class pets, and the politics of the playground. This was my very first experience at selling an idea, and it marked the beginning of my interest in the world of marketing. You can see how this is going to make this letter and this applicant stand out. And so you see, this is like the hook. And when we take a look at short messages, persuasion, and persuasive messages, you'll find out that gaining someone's attention is an important approach and technique to utilize, and this certainly grabs your attention. And so when we take a look at messages later on in the semester, what we'll find is persuasive messages often rely upon grabbing someone's attention right away. And that's exactly what this one does. And that's what you do in marketing. So it's very appropriate here for this type of application letter. So this person is violating the standard to respond to the situational demands. Now, this is something I would expect to see in the person's cover memo, pretty much explained to me. I would also expect that as the person goes through this letter, all the other things are also included here, such as education and all the things that apply to this position about the person's education, when they're getting their degree, what they're studying in marketing, that sort of thing, and also work experience.